Oh, all right. Here we go.
Yay.
So, everybody, hello. My name is Terry Durkash, and I am the co-founder of Hookist. I'm with tonight. I want to introduce you to our partners, Sarah Gulish, who's a music educator and F-flat Books founder. Hello, Sarah.
Hi.
And Dan Mascola, who is the founder of Moosiko, a really incredible music learning platform where you can learn guitar and ukulele and learn about songwriting. And it's Dan, great job, man. It's really cool.
Thanks.
And Dan graciously, generously enough has invited or offered for all the Hookist community to sign up for free and check it out. So everyone, you got to do that.
Yeah, check out Moosiko if you want to practice writing a song. It's a nice little guided kind of templates to start your creative original songwriting process. So give it a shot.
Sweet. And Sarah, do you want to just say a little bit about F-flat and what you're doing as an educator, etc.?
Yeah, sure. So we are a music education publishing company. We provide resources to classroom teachers, and we are just a community that loves music and music education. And there's a lot of teachers in our community who love songwriting. And I have worked with Dan for a number of years, and I use his songwriting tool with my students in my classroom. So there's a lot of connection with what we're doing.
Oh, this is awesome. So now it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you our guest this evening, Mr. Vernon Bush. Vernon, welcome.
Thank you.
Vernon is an amazingly talented singer, composer, actor, musician, musical director, educator. The list goes on. He's also a founder of Voice Church, and which he can tell you a little bit about later. And I'm fortunate to be able to call him my close personal friend. Vernon, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So Vernon, so what we're doing is, the three of us got together, Hookist, Moosiko, and F-flat. We all got together, and we're really trying hard to bring songwriting into schools. And we've been writing a song with students from around the country. We started a song. We're calling this event Schoolapalooza. So it's kind of an online concert thing, So we call it Schoolapalooza, and we're writing the song. The theme is passage of time, which can evoke a lot of different things, and it has been in these lyric submissions that we've been seeing. Sorry, New York City. So what we got window open. So that said, we're writing the song. The theme is passage of time, and the winning lyrics that get chosen for the song are determined by the votes. So the entire community who's writing with us, and everyone, if you haven't joined in yet, please join in. I think there's a code when you try and set up. When you sign up, there'll be a code. Enter that, and then you just start submitting lyrics. And follow the theme and follow the process, and you'll see how it all kind of goes when you get a Hookist. So it's determined by votes. That said, so now we've pretty much done the first verse. We're on to the pre-chorus, and I'm thinking, I'm not sure, Dan or Sarah, if you want to maybe let's give some shout outs before we actually say who the winner is.
Yeah, I have it pulled up. Dan, I don't know if you have it pulled up or not.
Go for it. How about this? Right. You do the runner-ups, and I'll announce the winner.
Okay. So these all happened to my students this time, which has never happened before because my students have not had any lyrics selected yet. So we do have some runner-ups. I'm just going to pull these up. First of all, we have Kalim8527, who wrote the lyric, and I'll remember things you don't, things you said you won't let go, which is awesome. That's Casey from Lower Moreland High School. Hooray, Casey. Also, great line. Anna M123 said, short and sweet, don't look back, it's time to go. Another runner-up. And then the final runner-up was from Eben. It says, so I'll keep on walking through the crowds and the noise, hoping to find my way to a place of peace and joy. Well done, Eben.
Sweet. Oh, really great. Oh, really, really great. Yeah, so actually I was going to get Vernon to do the winners, but Dan, if you want to go ahead, you're welcome to do it.
Go ahead. No, Vernon can do it. Go ahead, Vernon.
So Vernon, what I was thinking is
you want me to read the lyrics before?
Yeah, why don't, if you read let's read the verse lyrics so we know where we're going into, and the lyrics we've chosen, or the lyric that gets chosen this week, it's going to be the pre-chorus line.
Yeah.
Got it.
So Vernon, go ahead.
Here
buddy.
goes. We've made it to the sunset. Me and tomorrow have almost met. Life moves on a constant flow, leaving behind the things we all know. And the winning lyric is from The Lee 8133. Woohoo!
Yay!
Woo!
And here's the lyric. The memory of you slowly fades, but you'll continue to live on in other ways.
Wow.
Cool.
That's great. That's awesome. Well done, everybody. Well done. So okay, let's move on. That's fantastic. So now we have a first verse and we have a pre-chorus. And I'm thinking we're going to go into a chorus next. Is that our plan?
Yeah, I think a chorus after this. So
Okay.
now we have kind of a new direction because we know that there's another person in this story that we're leaving or something's happening, with that person. So I'm excited to see what happens with the chorus.
Me too. This is great. All right. So now let's get to know Vernon, shall we? Let's get to know Vernon. Vernon. So I think, I've got a couple questions here and, very casual. So it'd be great to let everybody know how you got started, what inspired you to become a songwriter, composer, musician, actor, all the things you do. How did you get started?
Well, I think the first time I started thinking about songwriting, I had to be about 5 or 6. And my dad would always tease me because I would have my thumb in my mouth. Could you hear me?
Vernon, I'm going to interrupt you just for a second. Does anyone else, is it kind of distorted when he's talking? Vernon, could you please bounce out, bounce back in?
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah, I love, while Vernon's kind of popping back in, I do love how with the Hookist method, how everything that's added adds more depth to whatever the project is.
It's great. It's really great. So what I want to do is I'm just going to start it up fresh again from the introduction of Vernon, and but this is all live now, isn't it? Ha! So hey, so Vernon, go ahead, brother. Tell us how you got started.
How I got started. I think I've been writing since I was 5 years old, because I remember my dad would come into the room and I'd be on my bed with my thumb in my mouth, shaking my head, making up these songs in my head. And nobody heard it, but I knew I was writing something, even at that age. And then fast forward, I really didn't start writing until, seriously writing, until I got to college. That's because, I was in the arts college, and there were a lot of artists there, and a lot of singers, a lot of actors, dancers, and and there was a piano in every room. So I played piano. So I would go into these big rooms with these grand pianos, and I would just go and play. And I would just start hearing stuff in my head. And that's kind of how I really started.
Wow, that's great, man. And so when do you think, how old are you when you think you wrote your first song?
Oh, probably around 16, 17.
All right.
Yeah.
I think I was around there too myself.
Yeah.
Probably like early teens somewhere. I mean, I started playing when I was 10, but it didn't really all of it click until I was like maybe 13 or 14.
Yeah.
Sarah, what about you? I know you're a songwriter. Well, I think both of you are songwriters. What about you?
Yeah. I was 11, sixth grade.
Oh, yes.
I can still play the song. So it's like a very much a core memory, but it didn't have words. It was a song without words that I made up on the keyboard. And yeah, I can still play it. It definitely was a identity shift for me.
Sweet.
Yeah.
It's amazing how music does that. You know, it's a new voice. It's a new, wow.
Yeah.
You know, and Dan, yourself?
Yeah, same kind of transition for me, but mine was a little later. I was in freshman in college, so I was about 18 years old. I took piano lessons when I was a kid. I hated it because it was all these like, the dog jumps over the fence type of songs. And then my roommate in college was a music major. He had like 4 guitars. I picked it up and we just would play together. And I, fell in love with music ever since, and very quickly realized like I wanted to write my own stuff. I wanted to be creative and create something out of nothing. And I've probably written at least 50, 60 songs since then.
Wow. Great. Yeah, it's amazing. Music is the universal language, no question about it. And it's another voice, actually, well, okay. So now that we're on, when I say voice, Vernon, tell us about Voice Church, okay? And I know you did some songwriting with kids in Africa, and it looked like amazing. Can you give us a little something about that?
Oh, I think kids, adults, they have a hard time sometimes expressing themselves. And, Voice Church is not a church, but it is a community. And I thought, for me as someone who was raised in church, I thought that was the thing for me. It was all about community. And inside of
Oh, you froze.
Oh, I think we lost him.
It was so good.
Vernon, it was so good, brother. Vernon?
Yeah, I'm sure he'll hop back on.
Yeah. Okay.
So did you,
Vernon? Yeah. So regarding the cave you live in, no, just kidding. Vernon's speaking to us from San Francisco, which you would think Silicon Valley, the hub of it all. All right, brother. Okay, so back to Voice Church.
Voice Church. I don't know how much you heard of it, but it's basically a method to really release your voice and express it in a way that you express it and feel empowered to sing or to actually even speak as well. Because a lot of people, they will say, or kids will say, I can't sing. And I found a way to actually really allow them to be able to stand in that and actually use their voice and experiment. And when I was in South Africa, I always thought, these kids, okay, they're Africans and they know how to sing, but a lot of them are they were scared and timid to sing in front of their peers. And they were all, they had choirs and stuff there and they were singing, but there were some people that they were afraid to sing. So I found a way to actually maneuver so they could actually find freedom in their voice.
That's great, man. That's really, really great. I know I've seen a bunch of videos of you there and singing with the kids and playing with the kids, and it's remarkable. It's really remarkable. If and we need to, at the end of this or whatever, you should let us all know where folks can see and hear what you do. Links or whatever, and we'll make sure to get them on the site and whatever. So now let's move forward. Actually, I have some questions, but Sarah and Dan, do you have any questions that you wanted to ask Vernon about? I mean, I have a whole plethora of them, but anything you guys want to ask him?
Yeah, I mean, I think something I'm always interested in as an educator is about people's backgrounds, which you shared a little bit about, but also how teachers in our community could be better reaching more students. And so it sounds like you had a passion for music from a young age, but it wasn't till, college that you were experimenting and got to do that. So What are some things you wish that you had in school when it came to music, when you were an adolescent or even younger?
Um, I guess encouragement. That would be the most thing, because there wasn't like a songwriting class or anything. There was band or a
Mhm.
chorus or something like that, but there was really never any platform for kids who are expressing. I mean, there was poetry. I wrote poetry, but there was no songwriting or music, and a lot of times I could always hear music in my head, and I always thought like, I thought everybody could do it. So I didn't think it was all that special, So I think that if someone would have heard what I did, maybe they would have actually encouraged me more, like, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that sounds great, or something like that.
Right.
But I think a lot of times kids, they think that everybody can do it. And a lot of times they're very, I wouldn't say isolated, but they think, that they're the only ones that can do it. They think that everybody can do it. And it's a lot of times it's a uniquely theirs. And I've bumped into kids that have been like that. And it's like, no, I can't do that. So I think that would probably be my answer for that one.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I got a question for you. The music part of kind of original content creation comes naturally to me, but the lyrics part doesn't. And so I can write some music that I feel really passionate about, and I even have an idea or a feeling that I feel really passionate about. But then to express that in words is difficult for me. And I was watching some of your videos, and you kind of one of the lines you says, I don't teach people how to sing, but I teach them how to express themselves. So do you have kind of a quick tip, or like at least going through the method of how you help people, me being one of them, pull out actual words and thoughts and phrases of what I'm feeling? Because that's the hardest part for me when writing
Well,
a
I
song.
think that's probably, you're right on it, like picking out words and things that mean something to you. I mean, when I'm teaching songs, I try to tell people, you're not just singing a song, you're actually having a conversation with somebody. So you almost want to get to the feeling of what it is that you're trying to say, and just write. Just like I've written stuff, it's stream of consciousness, and I've
Mm-hmm.
just kind of written and just write and write. And a lot of times you go back, you might find some things inside of what you were trying to get at. But really, it's almost like, what do you want the song to be about? Like, I know
Mm-hmm.
in Hookist, sometimes you got the subject. So you like, can I think, how would I want this to end? And then for me, it would be like, how do I want people to feel when they hear the music? And that's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times that people will be inspired, like, wow, I get what they're trying to say, and this is the feeling I want. I want to feel that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I would approach that.
And I think writing too, just like stream of consciousness, is a step that I often skip over. Like I think a
Ah,
lot of people do, right? They sit down and like, okay, I'm going to write the song. I'm going to write the first verse. That actually isn't the first step, right? The first step is like maybe to take this feeling and just write messiness, and
yeah,
then the next step is, okay, let's try to summarize it into a concrete, song.
yeah,
And it's and to add to that, I think there's also that, you know, some of the best lyrics I've ever read and or heard was when people are writing and they're being honest, and they're showing a vulnerability, that they're saying things in their song that they can't necessarily say to people in person,
hmm
their friends, their peers, their parents, their
yeah,
whatever it is, cousins. They can't really say that. But when you're writing a song, you can say everything.
anything, yeah,
You can and you should feel free to just write, and you don't have to write the song in a song form. Just write down, kind of like what we're doing at Hookist.
yeah,
Write down a line of your thought, write down another line, and eventually, it comes together into a one nice story and thought. and
hmm
and I don't know. That's my idea and approach of how I do it. And that's, I think, what Hookist has been doing all along. Of just
hmm
people submitting their lyrics, and then someone puts them all together, and it's this beautiful story, and feeling, and thought.
yeah,
Um, well, listen, I'm not sure how long you have Vernon here. I think we have to let you go in here like 5 minutes, right?
yeah.
So, and you're also cutting out again. Could you boot back in because
Yeah.
you're distorting? Thank you.
I also like the method of, and this is something I share with my students, but writing from someone else's perspective, because it's so much easier for me to write someone else's story than write my own.
Sure.
And I definitely have had conversations with friends, and as soon as I've left them, thought, yeah, this is going to be my next song. Like, I am writing their story. They're never going to know it, but that would be a great song. So I'm just going to sing about them.
Right. So listen, so in wrapping, there's one thing I also want to ask you, Vernon. I know that you've been involved with Glide Memorial Church in San Francisco, which I've been to and experienced. It's mind-blowing what goes on there. Do you want to just give us like a minute or two of what you've been doing with them and your process there?
Yeah, I'm the musical director there, and we have a full band, horns. We have 3 horns and bass, drums, guitar, keyboard, 2 keyboardists. I'm one of them, and a full choir.
But you also conduct this 40-person choir and build
Yeah.
parts and harmonies and all that.
Oh yeah.
We've been in the studio together, and I've watched Vernon and his magic of, okay, you sing this and you sing this. You sing this?
True.
Okay. Now you sing that. Good. Now you sing that. Okay. Now the 3 of you sing that together. Okay. Now you 4 people sing what she's singing. You 4 sing what he's singing. You 4 sing what she's singing. Now I want to hear all 12 of you sing it all together. And then let's double and triple that.
Yeah.
So
that's
I
it.
see Vernon's brilliance.
A lot of fun. It's an experience. If you ever come to San Francisco, it's in all the tour guides and tour books. Come and visit Glide. It's not your everyday church. It's definitely church for all people, and they feed the homeless 7 days a week, 3 meals a day, and there's a lot of outreach, and it's a really powerful place to be, because everybody is really all about unconditional love for real, and it's in the intersection of the poor and the rich, and it's just an amazing place to be, and to find your own mission, find your own joy. And I think people that come there, they're looking for joy, they're looking for some heart, and this is definitely the heart of San Francisco. If you want to come and get some spiritual food and some love, and it's such an incredible community.
It's
proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, and I've experienced it a couple times myself,
Yeah.
and it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, folks. I mean, unless you both of you have another question or something for Vernon, I'd like to just kind of wrap it up. You're all good. So, Vernon, I guess lastly, you got to let us know what you're currently working on, where we can hear your music, where we can see videos, where we can see stuff. So if you send that to me, we'll make sure to post it on the site.
Okay.
And I think your information today was invaluable, and it's these are young up and coming songwriters. Let's get songwriting in schools. Let's do it, because when it gives people another voice, so that they don't have to necessarily talk to their person and they feel shy about doing it. Write it down.
This is the next generation of musicians, right?
Yes.
There's teaching them, and so we need to give them all the support that they can get.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time, Vernon.
Yep.
And Sarah and Dan,
Awesome.
obviously, always thank you for your time. We're going to get this up on the site, and hopefully this all worked. This is my first attempt at Restream, so hopefully it all works, because it was a great interview from everyone. Anyway, so listen, from Hookist, good night. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and thank you for sending in your lyrics and become a part of it. Go to hookist.com and write, join the community, collaborate with one another, feel good, joy.
Awesome. Chorus is next.
All right.
Chorus is
Good night.
next. Yes. Oh, so I should just say that yes, we'll be choosing the first line to the first chorus next Monday.
Yep.
Whatever day that a week or whatever date that is. I guess it would be the 8th.
Yep.
Same time, probably late afternoon, 7:00, probably. So that's what we're looking for. So make sure when you're submitting lyrics, look at what we have now. It's about passage of time, and start submitting your lyrics. And you can submit as many as you want. Don't think you can only submit one. You can submit as many as you want. All right?
All right.
From Hookist and us,
Good night, everyone.
Moosiko,
Bye.
F-flat, Vernon.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Be well.
Yeah. All right. Bye now.